Dilation is really a topic that lots of pregnant women are concerned about, right? Because we receive so many questions about it every single day. So we thought, let's do another video.
Yes. So in this video, we are going to discuss when your dilation will start and how long it will take to dilate from 0 to 10 centimeters.
Yes, and then we're also going to discuss the factors that determine how long your dilation is going to last and what you can do to speed it up.
Right.
This is Natalie, a pregnancy and birth consultant and TCM therapist.
And that's Matthias, a researcher and science geek, and we are helping expecting mummies naturally and science-based.
So once again, let's talk about dilation. Okay, so when will your dilation start? Well, it's different from woman to woman, right? The reality is that some women will start to dilate in week 37, some in week 39, some later. And all of that is, of course, totally normal. However, the biggest part of your cervical dilation will only happen once you are in labor.
Yes, and not only that, what many women don't know is that some women will not dilate at all before labor starts. And so if you're like 38 or 39 or even 41 weeks pregnant and have not started to dilate, please do not panic, because maybe you are a person whose cervix just will not dilate before labor starts.
Yeah.
The other thing is, even if you are dilated before labor starts, it is not a guarantee that you will go into labor anytime soon.
Yes, good point. Actually, about a year ago or so, we published a video on the science that labor is 24 to 48 hours away. And in that video, we said that if you're like 3 centimeters dilated, then it is likely that you will go into active labor within 24 to 48 hours. And what can I say? We got slammed for saying that. Like, some people even called us liars because they said, like, you can be 3 centimeters dilated for weeks and not go into a labor. And of course, they were right.
Yes.
But so were we, right?
Yes. So to make it clear, it can absolutely happen that you dilate to, let's say, 3 centimeters in week 37, and that your dilation then suddenly stops for days or even weeks before you eventually go into early labor. This is not uncommon and it can happen. But what we meant in our video was that if your early labor has started and you dilated to 3 centimeters and your dilation progresses steadily, then it is normally safe to assume that your active labor is about to start, because this is when those strong contractions start, right?
Yes, but please underline the word normally twice, because when it comes to pregnancies and deliveries, there can always be exceptions, right? Now, the other thing is that even if you are a bit dilated before labor starts, it does not say anything about how long it will take to dilate to 10 centimeters. So, for example, we met women who were already 4 centimeters dilated when labor started, but it still took them another 12 hours to dilate to 10 centimeters.
Yes. On the other hand, we met women who were not dilated at all when labor started, but they only needed like 4 hours to dilate from 0 to 10 centimeters. So as you can see, being dilated before labor starts does not tell you anything about how long it will take to dilate to 10 centimeters. And so it is very difficult to say in general how long it is going to take.
Yes, it's so different from woman to woman, right? And because of that, all we can do is give you some average numbers based on scientific research. So at the beginning, when you go into early labor, it may feel like it's going super slowly. However, as your labor progresses and your contractions get stronger and come in closer intervals, it is also going to go much faster. So to give you an idea, studies found that on average, it takes about 1 hour and 48 minutes to dilate from 3 to 4 centimeters. But in order to dilate from 4 to 5 centimeters, it only takes 1 hour and 18 minutes. In first-time moms, right? Because if this is not your first baby, things are normally gonna go much faster.
Yes. So as you can see, dilating from 4 to 5 centimeters takes already 30 minutes less on average than dilating from 3 to 4 centimeters, right? So in total, dilating to 6 centimeters may last some 9 to 11 hours in first-time moms.
Yes, and then once you are 6 centimeters dilated, it normally goes much faster, because then, according to studies, a woman normally only takes about 30 minutes on average to dilate 1 centimeter. So overall, this makes about 11 to 15 hours on average to dilate from 0 to 10 centimeters in first-time moms.
Right.
However, these are statistical numbers, okay? So that means that sometimes it may only take 2 hours to dilate to 10 centimeters. Other women may take 24 hours to do so, and all of that can be totally normal. In general, though, women who gave birth to babies in the past already will have a much faster delivery.
Yes, and of course, if you are already 3 centimeters dilated before you go into labor, you will most probably dilate to 10 centimeters much faster too, even as a first-time mom. But as we already mentioned before, there is no guarantee for that. A woman starting into labor with 0 dilation could still reach a 10 centimeter dilation much faster than a woman starting with a dilation of 4 centimeters.
Yes, and the reason for that is that the circumstances of labor will be different from woman to woman, right? And there are quite many factors which determine those circumstances. One is what we have already heard, namely the question if this is your first baby or not.
Yes, another major factor that can prolong the dilation phase is the position of your baby. Because if your baby is breech, or if your baby is facing your front instead of your back, or if the baby is in some other awkward position, like looking upwards for instance, then the baby will have a much harder time to navigate through your pelvis. And that means that the pressure on your cervix from your baby's head will not be optimal.
Yes, next it is also a question of if and how you support your body prepare your cervix for labor. And finally, it is also a question of the things you do during your labor to support the cervical dilation, right?
Yes. So if your baby is breech, and this can be any breech position like transverse, frank breech, etc., then watch the video that hopefully pops up now. If you check the comments below that video, you're going to see that it has helped hundreds of women turn their baby even as late as week 40.
Yes, if your baby is head down but is not in a good position for labor, check out the video that pops up now. And finally, if you would like to know how to prepare your cervix for labor so that you can get faster to a point when your cervical dilation can start, watch the video that pops up now. And as always, our video recommendations can also be found below this video.
Right. If you have found this video helpful, we would be super grateful if you could leave us a like below this video.
Yes, and for more useful tips and tools on pregnancy-related topics, make sure to subscribe to our channel and to hit the bell.